Good morning. Hope we are all good. Should be live on there. Another lovely morning, and that's a simple topic of today's chat. Everyone talks about the weather and the days of the week this week. If you haven't had a chat about which day of the week it is this week, comment below, because you are one in a million. Anyway, just on way to morning session. We've got no floor, knee friendly, live from home, and then we have our workout of the day, Marlborough devices. We can come in, book a time slot, and essentially personal train you through it. So, key thing for today is talking about why it's the fact that it's actually been quite good weather this week, despite, because we're still doing outside sessions or outside classes as well. And I'll be honest, when I looked at the weather on Sunday, I was like, there's no way these sessions are going to be on. Like, what are we going to do about these sessions? We haven't got cover in place, or in terms of shelter. It looks like it's going to tip it down all week. And touch wood, it's actually been nice every day we've had the outside sessions. And my point in this is if the weather people can get it wrong, with all the tech, with everything like that, surely we can allow us to get it wrong when our Fitbit, when our device tells us we're going to lose 2 pounds this week if we stick to X, Y and Z, and then we don't. And to think that we can actually simplify the body that much is sometimes the issue with us doing it for long enough to see the results we want. Especially when you consider that women, more so than men, will fluctuate with their weight for a variety of reasons, from menstrual cycle to menopause. Now, if you consider that, up to and around 4 pounds daily could be fluctuations in water. You know, if you look at hormones, and if you also look at like carbohydrate intake, if you eat carbohydrate, for every 1 gram you eat, you store 4 grams of water. So that's one thing already, which means you're going to store more water, which is more weight, which doesn't mean you've put on body fat. 2, consider if you eat more vegetables, you know, innocently eat more vegetables, short term you might have a bit more food going through your digestive tract, which means you weigh more. Exercise. Hey Paula, hey Joss, exercise. If you start exercising a bit more, your muscles you might start to feel your muscles a little bit, whether they're a bit sore, whether, you know, you've just worked them a little bit, you know, that little feeling. And the result of that is actually inflammation. Your body's going to have to actually go through that, recover, start that recovery process, which does potentially result in a bit of water retention as well in the short term. Over time, if you're getting stronger, something's changing in your body, aka you may be putting on some muscle, which may be impacting your weight as well. There's all these variables that come into it. And that's why I say, like, don't get too caught up with the exact numbers of the scales, because just like the weather, it doesn't always go as planned. So at the same time, luckily, we've got more variables to measure. So that's why I always say, get the tape measure out if you're a numbers person, if you like the numbers. If not, just go by how your clothes fit. Just take it quite easy. You know, how's your clothes fitting? All good. And just go with it. Polling station. Forgot about that. Anyway. Yeah, so you can go by how you feel, clothes fit. There's many variables. How many? More than process-based. Process is in the things you're 100% in control of. And, you know, I would say from a mindset point of view, depending on your goal, they both work. But I've seen a lot of people get away from the scales, get away from stuff like that, and get great results by focusing on their habits. Because they know that if they just did more of what they know they need to do, this is like a riddle, isn't it? Is it that you don't know what to do, or that you don't do what you know? Yeah, always ask that question. Anyway, I've seen a lot of people get great results from moving away from the scales and the outcome based, moving towards the process. But likewise, a lot of people do very well with a daily weigh-in, and the research shows that. I would love to say that the research doesn't, but the research does show that people who, in this group, who have lost weight and kept it off for a long periods of time, over time, they've managed to keep the weight off. And one of the things they say, one of the habits, just one of the habits, is that they weigh daily. That allows for fluctuations. It also allows you to potentially get a bit back on track and not be too emotionally connected to one number that you do on a weekly basis on an evening. And I know, a lot of slimming clubs and stuff like that, we do the weekly weigh-in on an evening. There's so many variables that come into that, whether the size of your meal, whether you've eaten little or large. And these floor a lot of studies as well, if you like fasting studies, because if you haven't eaten for 24 hours, you're going to be lighter, less carbohydrate stores in your body, less water, less food going in your digestive tract. So, point of this is that you should think about different measures for your progress, not just the scales, because it doesn't always go to plan, just like the weather. Anyway, best get ready for this morning, so I will see you later. Take care.